Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. It's been a wild couple of weeks in this market since the debt ceiling and potential US government default have become the talk of the town. And just a couple of days ago, the House voted to pass a bill that would suspend the debt ceiling into January 2025, essentially attempting to avoid an immediate default of the US government, kicking the can even further down the yellow bricks road. If you know, you know. Don't you love the exoteric bread and circus they feed us? What a joke. Anyways, in today's video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on what I'm expecting for the crypto market over the next week leading into June 5th, the deadline for Congress to make a decision regarding the debt ceiling to prevent default, and we'll review the setup and preparation for the next Fed meeting on June 13th and 14th. The next couple of weeks in this market are gonna be spicy. And yes, I have something cooking up for the NBA Finals, and I'll be updating you on that in a moment. And also, just a reminder, the new month has started on Patreon for the month of June. If you've been waiting to join, I appreciate your support. You can sign up today by visiting patreon.com/watersabove to join the Mastermind community membership and get instant access to my weekly Red Pill podcasts. That's my technical analysis podcast to wrap up the week and for me to also review the altcoins that our community votes on. Last week, I released a very special podcast decoding this US debt ceiling, so you're not going to want to miss that. And by becoming a Patreon supporter, you'll also get access to our Discord server for our community group chat, so you could come hang out with the Wolfpack. And as you heard moments ago, due to popular demand, very soon I'll be releasing an NBA Finals decode available for my Patreon supporters, so you'll get access to that when it's released. Since I've had so many people asking me to decode the NBA Finals after two successful back-to-back Super Bowl decodes that came to fruition, so I'll have a short and sweet NBA Finals decode for the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat with my pick of the winner coming soon, and the Patreon link can be found in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. All right. So moving on to some of the information we talked about, as I mentioned in the intro, the House voted to pass a bill that would potentially suspend the debt ceiling into January 2025. So now this moves on to the Senate, which that should be happening very soon. And the vote on this is so obvious. It was 314 to 117, and the debt ceiling is 31.4 trillion. 314 and 314. Pi is 3.14. It's right in your face. So they're just playing with us as usual. Anyone who's been a part of my community, or if you're new to this channel, you're here for a reason, and it's because you're aware of this code being pretty much the most important part of how this so-called reality works. And you can see right here the debt ceiling being 31.4 trillion and this winning vote at 314. We're going to actually break this down a little bit more. After Silicon Valley Bank failed on March 10th, the Dow Jones backtested 31,400 points, and I'll actually show you that on the chart so you know what I'm talking about. So we are looking right here at this time frame, got a larger correction, and right there into this time frame, you can see the lows at 31433. So another 314. And this low came in the day after March 14th, which is the 314 date in the Gregorian system. And the current microcycle high for Bitcoin on April 14th on the index chart, and we could see this right here, was actually $31,046. Again, 314 if you remove the zero using the rules of numerology. And the Bitcoin all-time high, which happened at back here on November 10th, $69,000 Bitcoin. It happened on November 10th, and I'll show you right here. November 10th of 2021. And just look right here how that is the 314th day of the year. So Bitcoin hits its all-time high on the 314th day of the year. The debt ceiling is 31.4 trillion. The winning vote to pass this is 314. Again, this is just a code that's being put in our faces. And now with this House vote on the debt ceiling bill, it's obvious they're playing around with this 314 number right now. So we must keep that in mind as decoders. This is the exoteric stuff that we could apply to the esoteric decoding system we have. So this made me actually think of adding 314 days to June 5th, which is, again, the deadline for this whole fiasco. So if I do that, you're going to see it's pretty interesting now. I'm just going to take you to next year, and that will be on April 14th. If I add 314 days to June 5th. And what's so amazing about this is a date that I've actually talked about before. That's the date that leads into the ritual date that I've told everyone about over 6 months ago to anticipate for next year. I've spoken about it on several interviews as well. So I've talked about it on other people's channels about this date of April 15th. So that's when I see a ritual happening on the world stage. And this is pretty much right after the solar eclipse on April 8th of 2024, the Great American Eclipse, which forms an X. And I'm sure some of you have heard about this before. So I might make a full decode on that in the future if that's something you're all interested in. But in the meantime, mark your calendars. I've been very vocal about April 15th of 2024 for a while. And this 314 number connection adds even more to my intuitive feeling about that date. It's definitely connecting the dots for me. So if you take from the 314 days on these 314 votes, which came in right back here on the 31st, and it's going to show you right here, April 9th, and that's the day after the eclipse. Total solar eclipse. It's an absolute gem that I'm dropping here, and this is almost a year in advance. So we've seen plenty of these 314 codes popping up. You got to take them seriously as decoders, and I think this is a perfect example of how to apply it. From the date of these 314 votes coming in on the debt ceiling, that's 31.4 trillion. You're taking from the day of those votes coming in 314 days into the future, and it's bringing you into such a critical time frame, which is the day after that total solar eclipse. So definitely hope that's helpful for you guys as decoders, kind of seeing how my methodology is. I try to give everyone really far ahead time horizons to expect things. And I've been talking about this April 14th and April 15th, 2024 ritual for quite a while now. Yeah, so this is definitely a huge find for me. And it's great to be able to reveal that in today's video. Anyways, getting back to this, tomorrow is pretty much the full moon. Pretty much today when I release this video into tomorrow, we're seeing the typical bearish energy we get around the full moon time frame, similar to most months. Of course, they set up this deadline around all of this exact time frame, the first full moon since the lunar eclipse in May. So if you guys remember, we've been talking a lot about these eclipses. We had that eclipse come in on May 5th into May 6th, and this will be technically your first full moon since then, perfectly timed when they're doing this whole debt ceiling thing. And we've seemingly got our lows in the structure coming back into May 25th, and we'll talk about that later on when we get into the TA. But this is a similar setup that we're seeing. And naturally, in these lows, we move up into new moons. And because our new moon is about 15, 16 days away, it gives us plenty of time for this market to regain, get back into structure. And right now, we're pretty much holding the same horizontal trading range that we've been in for over 2 months. So they love their full moon rituals. I've given you guys a lot of information about this debt ceiling. So with this full moon leading into the weekend, I would not be surprised if it brings some volatility to crypto. But more importantly, what I'm looking at is this weekly close that's coming in on Sunday into Monday, that big critical date of Monday, June 5th. So expect a lot of volatility in this market between now and especially next Monday market open. And we have the Federal Reserve meeting on June 13th and 14th, which is right past the third quarter moon and into the new moon territory. Lots of speculation that this fiasco going on in Congress and the Treasury could bring a more positive energy to the markets regarding investor speculation. My general outlook is that we're cutting it close to the time frame we've seen in prior iterations of this same stage in the macro crypto cycle, specifically for Bitcoin, which is the power plant of the crypto sector. So where Bitcoin goes, everything else goes. And a lot can happen in just 3 weeks. Anyone who's been invested in crypto for some time knows this. And if we go back to June 2019, back into this moment right here, which is what I'm anticipating to be the next move for this crypto market, we can see that this horizontal trading range we were stuck in, and then 22 days after this last back test of the lows, we watched Bitcoin go up over 80%. So 22 days after our local microcycle lows on May 25th, which I just brought up moments ago, would bring us right into about June 16th. And you could see that right there, Friday, June 16th. Now, that's about 2 days before the new moon, so that would not be weird for us to be bullish around that time frame, but I am personally looking to the week of the solstice for my targets, and that is the 21st of June, naturally, and specifically the 25th week of this year, between June 19th and June 25th. 25 being significant by the code because we're in the year of the rabbit. And you could see that right there in the code. We have that 5225 as above, so below, the mirror. And then also crypto, giving you that 25 in Chaldean. The ticker symbol of Bitcoin being BTC, you got that 25 right there. And even a little bit more esoteric, we have Satoshi Nakamoto giving us this 55 in multiple ciphers. 55 is 2 5s. And 5 times 5 is 25. Again, a little bit more esoteric, but I hope this, you could see now how I'm utilizing this code. So 25 is huge for this year, and because it's marked all over crypto and Bitcoin, I mean, even if you do the mirror of 25, you have 52, and cryptocurrency equals 52. There you go. So into the 25th week of this year, which is coming very, very soon. You could see that right there, June 19th through June 25th. That's about the same time frame that Bitcoin topped out in the automatic rally of 2019. So before we get into the TA, go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already, and spread some love in the comment section. That's what we're all about here. Now let's get into some of this analysis. I actually want to start with the bi-weekly chart. So we're looking at the 2-week candles, and you could see right here, ideally, we want Bitcoin to hold this 8 simple moving average. That's that yellow moving average right there. And we're holding it thus far after backtesting it 2 weeks ago. We've been holding it, and this would be ideal that we close above that level. But even more ideal would be closing above structural highs, which is about 28,600 into 29,000. If we can get a bi-weekly close into 29,000, that would be very ideal for the market structure at this time, especially for how long we've been trading sideways. So that's about 6 to 7% up from the current price we're at. Not too much to ask for. Let's go over the weekly, and naturally this close above 29K would put us back above the 8 simple moving average on the weekly chart, and a structural closure high on the weekly about 30,400. So you're seeing that right there. Now, that might be a little bit to ask for. It's about 12% up from here, and we only have a couple trading days for this week, but this can easily be resolved into next week after this debt ceiling bill is finalized by Congress on Monday. Again, I'm hearing many people very, very positive about how this can turn out. So with all things considered, this is a very interesting time frame for Bitcoin, being about 80 days in this horizontal trading range after this huge correction that we had. And we've broken above the structure going back from this $25,000 resistance. And now we've been essentially back testing it as well. So this is very healthy. If you look at the weekly, we back tested the 200 simple a couple of times. Now we're holding that level, but we want to see this 8 simple moving average be breached weekly closures above that level, and that puts us about 28,200. So if we can get that bi-weekly condition that I shared with you earlier above 28,600, it would meet both of those conditions, and that would be very, very good for Bitcoin at this time. So I speculate that this weekly close for the crypto market can be hectic, since crypto will be trading later into Sunday night, and the Dow Jones, Forex, and CME will open up in the final hours of the weekly close for crypto, leading into Monday, June 5th, when the rest of the traditional markets will open up. So I'm sure volume will be noticeable on that day, and this will definitely bring volatility to the crypto markets in response. If you are a professional trader, you're really good at trading, you know how to, manage risk. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please be careful trading around this time frame. Just words of wisdom. This is high volatility times, where when we're in these sideways markets, if you look at like the 12-hour, you could see we've been trapped here for a pretty long time. There is lots of volatility up and down for long and shorts, but you really need to be skilled in this environment. So be, cautious is all I'm saying. We haven't really had an event like this happen. So with all of this printing that we've had by the Federal Reserve going back through 2020 and 2021, historical printing, the most money ever since the creation of the Federal Reserve, done in one single year. Well, now everything is kind of showing off, well, this is the consequence of it, okay? So this is definitely going to affect the crypto market, and I feel like intuitively this makes so much sense for one more leg up in the crypto market. But we have to consider some downside levels to keep in mind for Bitcoin, right around 26,600. This level Bitcoin has been gravitating to since the middle of March, almost 80 days ago. So 26K is a very strong support level for Bitcoin at this time. And if you look at this daily chart right here, you're going to see that this perfectly aligns with the 200 exponential moving average. So it's sitting right at the structural resistance of the prior microcycle highs right here, which were coming in around mid-February. This is very important because these were the highs that we planted before this larger correction due to that Silicon Valley Bank ritual. And then we bounced out of that, with ease, essentially. So this 200 EMA rising up to this exact level definitely tells a story to me. And it's natural that when you break out of a trading range like this violently, you typically backtest a prior resistance to confirm it as a new support, and we haven't really done that yet. But honestly, if you look at these tails on May 12th and May 25th, we've essentially met those conditions. It's good enough considering crypto has so much leverage being played and a lot of unsophisticated traders. These back tests around 25.8 do essentially meet those conditions, but we're going on almost 3 months in this horizontal trading range, so a volatile move is cooking up soon, and that is just a warning. All right, so we're definitely in those final moments before a move, and you guys don't hear me say that lightly. I'm not trying to be a moon boy here. This is just the moment to anticipate shakeouts. Now, we're going to quickly get through ETH because it's the same story. When we're holding these lower highs, we have a high, lower high, lower high. We've just started to plant higher lows, and this isn't confirmed at all until we break the prior lower high. So we would need to get above $2,015 to mark that as condition met for a short-term reversal. But we are looking pretty good right now, getting back above this 55 simple moving average on the daily. So I would like those to hold. And if I was to pull a fib here, you're going to see right there, I know it might look a little messy for you guys, but we've broken through this resistance trend line, which was coming in and back tested effectively. And having a bounce now with a daily close above this 0.5 fib at about 1,930 would definitely be a condition to bring us into the golden pocket and break that structural high. So this is a nice setup, and ETH is looking pretty strong right now. Again, really no parties on Ethereum until we start getting back above this level right here of about $2,000. And really what you'd want to see is just a breakout with some volume, because volume is so low right now. So let's move on to XRP. But before we do that, just consider this horizontal trading range somewhere around 1,780 with closures below that to swipe into this 200 exponential moving average, which is the same analysis as Bitcoin. So you can just copy them over both ways. There's your downside target and upside as well. Now, XRP had a very nice breakout. We were talking about this 58 number a lot, with XRP hitting 58 cents, and then we dropped down into May 8th, which is the 5/8 date, got the lows. We've sprung out of it, and obviously we were talking about how in Gematria XRP equals 58. We did not get any moves 58 days later, really, but I mean, technically it started the breakout. So I guess that is one of the ways that was being, excuse me, I should have taken 58. You can see what I mean. Yeah, I mean, pretty much technically on the 58th day, which is May 26th, 58 days after that high of 58 cents, we got a really nice breakout candle structure, which led us to about 53 cents. So this is looking good. But as I've said so many times, no parties on XRP until it breaks 54 cents to the upside. So we need that condition to be broken. One moment. All right, so I'm actually gonna wrap up the video here because we're watching XRP in the midst of breakout, and we're looking pretty good right now. We just need to break that 54 cent level. Until we could do that, no parties. We do have a really nice cross right here with the 8 above the 55. That's the wolf cross with upside implied. We're looking at RSI behaving, not really going too quick too soon. I mean, this was a pretty vast breakout, but holding about 66 right now, nothing wild. I mean, we're not in the high 80s, so we have plenty of room to go. That's kind of what I mean by that. We have the 200 exponential and 200 simple sloping to the upside. Very nice. Really nothing quite bad to say. Weekly is looking pretty good, and you know that weekly structural closure would have to be above 54 cents as well. So it would be really nice to see XRP close above 54 cents on the weekly this week, which is also a bi-weekly close, and then getting above that 60 level, which would send us into automatic rally territories somewhere around 83 cents. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I will be releasing that NBA Finals decode for the Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets in probably just a couple of days, hopefully by mid next week. And that will be available on patreon.com/watersabove for the Mastermind community members. I appreciate all your support. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.